think will
You're gonna
quit?
be teaching the school.
Who think will quit?
You're
wrong. You're going to get the shock of your life.
No, it's better to burn out than fade away.
There we go.
He is not elite yet. Tell me one elite fighter he's beat.
You want to see what the Silk said?
Yes.
I don't know whether to float or gloat.
What size feet is he, Ben?
Hello and welcome to Sugar, Silk and Stretch, probably the best boxing podcast in the world. My name's Ben Doughty. I'm delighted to be joined this Sunday by up-and-coming super featherweight contender Dominique Jamar Francis. Welcome to the show, champ.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Listen, there's usually a couple of other faces on the screen too. You've got Gary Stretch, a former world-class well, he was more of a light middleweight, to be honest with you, but he did fight Chris Eubank Sr. for the WBO middleweight championship of the world. You've got Michael Silkalajide. I don't know how much of a student of boxing history you are, but he was a pretty big deal in the 80s. He fought Thomas Hearns and the like. But
Yeah, it's cool.
Gary's otherwise engaged. I think Silk is in Vegas this weekend. He may join us a little bit later. But Dominique, I've been watching some of your fights this afternoon. For anybody who doesn't know Dominique already, I'll give him an introduction. He was a top amateur as a junior. They used to call him Little Mayweather, I believe. I watched that bit with you. They showed you on the train to Boca Raton, training with Anthony Ham, I believe it was.
Yeah. Anthony, yeah.
Yeah, before we get into it anymore, pick up the story for me. Had you according to the little vignette on YouTube about those days 10 years ago, it said that you'd actually lost 6 of your first 10 amateur fights before you hooked up with Anthony in Boca Raton. Is that true?
No, that's not true. Yeah, my first 10 amateur fights, I almost won undefeated and really lost like 1 or 2. You know what I mean? But I was my first year within boxing. I was already number 1 in the state, number 1 in the region, number 2 in the nation. You know, so that was before Anthony. When I was before Anthony, when I hooked up with Anthony, all that stuff just continued for years and years and years and years after that.
That you were 13 at the time that little bit of footage was shot. At what age did you start boxing?
I started boxing at 10 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the catalyst for that? Were you inspired by a particular fighter?
I wasn't inspired by nobody. It's just I know my father was always into boxing. That was his favorite sport. My cousin, like my brother, who was a fighter as well at the time, you know, I always wanted to do everything that he did. And, you know, he was a boxer, and it was very interesting to me that he done it. It was my father's favorite sport. So, you know, we had to get a way to convince my mother, you know, they don't like all the physical stuff. So we got a way to convince them, because first I was playing football. We got a way to convince them, you know. I was like, hey, he need to learn self-defense, because he got a bad attitude, always fight on the field and stuff like that. So got a way to convince them, and, you know, it was on from then, never went back.
That's what it said also. It's by your own admission at the time, you said you had a bit of a cocky attitude when you first started training with Anthony Ham in Boca Raton, and you said he taught you how to be humble and how to listen and to cut back a little bit on that, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. Taught me how to cut back a bit on that, you know, remain coachable. But one thing about I'm still very confident. A lot of people confuse my confidence with arrogance. You know what I mean? So if they confuse that, that's on them. That's not on me. You know what I mean? That's on them. That's not on me.
And Anthony doesn't train you today as a pro, right? I believe you're co-trained by your father and another gentleman whose name escapes me.
Yeah, co-trained by my father and Derek Santos.
That was it. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So what? Because Anthony, it said that he'd worked with Otaro Getty and I think Sultan Ibragimov and another guy as well, another illustrious fighter. I'm trying to remember. He coached a bunch of champions, right, Anthony? So.
Yeah, a bunch of champions, man. His history, his resume is long. It's long. I can't even keep up with it, man.
So what was it about? Why did that relationship not continue into the present day in the professional ranks?
It was nothing wrong. It was just time to move on. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing wrong at all. Anthony was a very good coach, very great coach. Very, very major part of my story. You know what I mean? The reason why I am who I am today. You know what I mean? A very great coach. We had a lot of great moments together. He taught me a lot. But at the time, it was just time to move on. I was move, and I was in and out of places. I wasn't as stationary as I was before, so we just found another coach. That's all.
Yeah. What I noticed I've trained and fought in the States in the amateurs years ago. And what I noticed at the time was there's more of a relationship a lot of the time between the professionals and the amateurs. You guys in the amateurs in the States, you spar with a lot of professionals as quite a regular thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's quite regular. That's like me. Growing up in the amateurs, I sparred with a lot of pros, a lot of people who was on a way higher level than me. I could go on names. We got Antonio Vargas, we got Teofimo Lopez, we got even people local Florida talents like Antonio Bang Williams, Lawrence Newton. Jamie Abadella, the guy who fought Chris Colbert.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people. The list goes on and on. So the amateurs and the pros are very. It's like we intertwine with each other.
They said from my research at one point you were focused on what would have been the 2020 Olympics, which didn't actually take place until 2021 due to the
Mhm,
COVID pandemic, and
mhm.
evidently you decided to go ahead into the professional ranks in 2019 and not wait for an Olympic Games. Was your decision influenced by COVID, or were you just in a hurry to get into the paid ranks and
No,
that
it
was
was
that?
just it was just time. I turned pro when I was 18. I turned pro
Yeah.
when I was 18 and stuff like that. We sat down, my team, everybody sat down together and was like, man, we just gonna take this leap. We're just gonna take this leap. It's like you got them kids that turned pro at 15, 16, 17. You know what I mean?
Like the Mexicans and stuff, yeah, Hispanics and stuff.
Exactly. You got Gabriel Flores turned pro at, I believe, 17 years old. Alexander Zayas, another one of my staple mates who I grew up with. A lot of these kids, they turn pro at an early age and learn the game. They learn the game, and then it's kind of like they got a head start. So, we just turned pro at 18 and slowly built our way up.
So you weren't tempted to hang around for the potential catapult that an Olympic gold medal can give you. I mean, first of all, you've got to win it. I understand that, but an Olympic
Hmm.
medal can have a serious impact on your commercial value. Right now, you've been fighting in the back roads, right? You fought in Colombia, you fought in Argentina, you fought in
Hmm.
Mexico, and
Hmm.
you're walking that harder road, right? Where you need to prove yourself a lot harder than a prospect who might be his path is smoothed a little bit with an Olympic medal, right? You weren't tempted to hang around for that for the
No, because
extra star
my
power it might give you.
No, my path is my path. My path is my path. Not really worried about nobody else's path. So a lot of people, they have the silver spoon. So when that adversity and that conflict come, they don't know how to react. They don't know how to adjust. You understand? It's already happened to me in the beginning of my career. I'm saying I didn't have no easy road or whatever like that. And that was by
For
choice.
sure.
It was
And
by
you know what?
choice.
You've already proven your ability to come back from adversity. I watched your fight with the Brian Ariel Arguello,
Argentina,
which was
yep.
summer last year in Argentina,
Hmm.
in Buenos Aires, and
Yep.
that was no walk in the park.
Not at all.
You put him down in the seventh round, I believe it was. You
Yeah.
got a point. You got a point deduction in the sixth for like
Yep.
nothing, just a little
Yep.
forearm.
Yep. Yep.
The
Yep.
referee was
Yep.
kind of strict.
Yeah, he was
Um,
very hard. It was very hard.
and then you got decked in
Yeah.
the ninth round
Ninth round.
and punched out the ring. And I see
Uh-huh.
you must have been a little bit buzzed because you got on your
Uh-huh.
bike and we saw some beautiful footwork and some
Uh-huh.
defensive artistry while you
Yeah,
cleared your head and then you took care of business and you won a deserved points decision. But that's
for
no
sure.
easy road at all, Dominique.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
that is hard fights kind of off the radar to the mainstream of boxing. So
Yeah, 1,000%.
I mean, maybe it's the Marvin Hagler type route where you become hardened away from the public eye, away from the big spotlight. So
Oh,
when you're
for
ready
sure.
for the spotlight, you've already ticked all those boxes, huh?
Oh, for sure. Marvis Hagler, Terrence Crawford, Devin Haney. We go on and on like Canelo back there in Mexico. You know, uh, this is just my route. Like you said, it wasn't an easy fight. I haven't had a lot of easy fights. Anybody you step in the ring with, man, they all have an opportunity. They all come in. They all coming to be able to get back in the ring so they could get another paycheck. When they see you got that, they want to take what you got so they can become
Yeah.
a big name. Everybody look up my name and see the background, see who I'm acquainted with, see everything that I did. Who wouldn't want to be somebody that with all my accolades and stuff like that. So I know everything that it comes with me getting inside the ring. So like I say, even fighting in Argentina, man, we nothing was easy. We was fighting in Argentina when it was at nighttime like 40 degrees. They had us in a tent outside,
Of
freezing
course they did.
cold,
Yeah.
and our opponent inside. And it's okay, you know what I'm saying? Because we're not looking to, get the
For
silver
favors.
spoon. Yeah,
Yeah.
we go there and do what we gotta do when we head out. It's on to the next thing.
That's what some
So
people don't understand about this professional boxing game. When you're the away fighter on the road, they will do little things to try and discombobulate you and make you uncomfortable.
one
So
thousand percent.
it's they're not going to fix it blatantly like it's some kind of mob movie, but they'll do
Yep.
everything they can to put you off your game, and you
Yep.
have to. So you're walking uphill anyway when you're the away fighter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So which obviously, see, thing is, if you are more favoured and you're with a television promoter, if you're with, like in this country, with Frank Warren or Ben Shalom or Eddie Hearn, or if you're with Bob Arum or Oscar De La Hoya in the States, for instance, then you get it a little easier. But sometimes you do end up getting these guys with talented but with padded records, and when their first test comes as a pro,
Yeah.
they're found wanting. So maybe
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe it's a blessing that you've had to walk
Yeah.
a harder path and fight on the road in these South American backwaters. Sometimes you're Central American,
That's how I look at it, 1,000%, man. Because I've been in Eddie Hearn DM like crazy. I've been in Eddie Hearn DM like crazy.
You've
Like
been sliding into those DMs.
I've been
Yeah,
in his DMs like I'm a female. We ready. I'm ready. What we doing? I'm ready. You know what I mean? Like this a talent. This a talent that he'll love. This a personality that he'll love. You know what I mean? This just somebody who he'll love. You know what I mean? So we be in his DMs like crazy, man. Like I like the way he did with all his other fighters, Raymond Ford, Ammo
yeah,
Williams. Like all these
yeah,
guys. Man, I like the way he managed these guys. How he support these guys. I love to be a part of that stable, man.
yeah. Have you had any response from Edward as yet?
Not yet, but I'm gonna keep doing it. I
Yeah.
hope he watch these interviews. I hope he get out there to
Well,
him
yeah. You're doing yourself a little favour by coming on this show anyway. You
for
could
sure,
forward more of a kind of UK audience. The process starts here, but
for sure,
and
for sure.
I'm guessing you're kind of anxious if you can crash that Saudi Arabia party as well, right?
Oh man, why wouldn't I? I mean, why wouldn't I? That's doing well right now. It's doing well for the fighters. It's doing well for boxing. It's another huge platform for boxing. I would love to go over there and put on a show and do what I do best over there, and introduce them to Dominique Trap Francis. It'll be a beautiful thing. It'll be a blessing, a pleasure.
Talk to me about the alias of Trap, because I say that when you were 13, they called you Little Mayweather.
Yeah,
Now I'm aware that you go by Dominic Trap Francis.
yeah.
Where does Trap come from? What's the significance of that?
Since I was 13, I've been trapped. But where I'm from is nothing but trouble realities and pandemonium personalities. When I get inside the ring, all we doing is setting up traps. You understand what I'm saying? All we doing
That's
is setting up
that's where it
traps.
comes from. It's about trapping the opposition, right?
That's it. That's it.
Okay,
All we
so
doing is setting up traps, man.
for you viewers, by the way, Dominique is a super featherweight. Recently made his debut at 130 pounds. He is 16-0. He has 10 KOs. As I say, he was a top amateur. He's fought on the road. In his recent fights, he's fought. Last fight was in Stockton, California, but before that, the last 3 or 4 on the spin were in Argentina or Colombia. So he's kind of road hardened already. And is that correct that you stepped up in your last fight against, I believe it was Julio Hugo Carrera Hugo, who you stopped in the fourth with a body shot? That was your first
Mhm.
fight at 130 officially.
Yeah, my first official fight at 130.
And yeah, and how did, because I see you've weighed as little as
Wow.
122 a
Yeah,
couple of
when
years
I
ago.
yeah when I first turned pro, like I said, I turned pro at 18. The frame was different. Very very lot small, a lot more frail. So it was easy for me to make 122. But the years go on, your body grow,
Yeah.
life happens. You get bigger. You don't want to be no weight bully and hurt yourself at the end of the day. It could take a lot of brain damage from just trying to be a weight bully, and we ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, you think, but by dehydrating yourself with a weight cut so much, just so you can be 12 times the size of God the next day when you've
Exactly,
rehydrated, it can
exactly,
backfire on you, right? It's all very well that you get a strength advantage, a size advantage, but
exactly.
but maybe it'll catch up with you one day, huh?
For sure, for sure. Maybe I'll catch up with you one day, man. You ain't gonna like that, man. You see a lot of fighters where it caught up with them. They can't articulate their speech. Their speech is slurred. We don't want that, man. We don't want that.
No, and it is, it's a sad thing. But when you attend things at old fighters, like last year I went to the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, and you talk to some of these guys from the era of the 1970s and the 80s. Some of them are sharp as or clear as a bell, and others are damaged and they have much more trouble articulating. And
Yep.
sometimes I think a lot of it, Dominique, might be because of what they did in the gym as well as what
Yep.
You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, a lot of those spawn wars, a lot of those banging just go and they fight and they fight. See, a lot of people don't understand. That's like one of my favorite fighters in the game, James Toney. One of my
Yeah.
favorite fighters in the game, James
Yes.
Toney.
Yes.
Love to spar, really did any training from everything that I heard. But a lot of people don't understand. A lot of beating comes from the sparring before the
Yes.
fight. It comes from the sparring. They beating each other up, they beat each other down. Then you go into a fight and you may get beat down again. So
And
it's a lot.
with James Toney, because that's interesting you mentioned him, because he's hailed as a defensive genius and a technical
Mhm.
genius, rightly so. But he is damaged. There's no point stepping around that issue. He is damaged
He's
cerebrally
damaged.
because
He's
of the
damaged.
punches he took. Because
He's
he
damaged.
was into bragging rights sparring. He was into kind of who's the daddy of the gym kind of
Exactly. Yep.
sparring.
Yep.
And he didn't like training much, but he did like
Yep.
boxing. So if you don't like road work and you don't like skipping and you don't like groundwork, but you like boxing and being the man, then you get fit in the ring instead of
That's
on
it.
the floor. You know what I mean?
That's it.
So,
That's it. That's it.
but
Plain and
uh,
simple.
I got to ask you this question because my friend Ishan Pickering, who is a former super bantamweight champion, he was British, Commonwealth, and European super bantamweight champion. He did box for a world title. He wants to know who your manager is. He's asked me twice now, so I better get the question in.
Yeah, man. It's no matter. So we got somebody helping out. You know, what I mean, we got representative that's helping out and blessed right now. But we're a free agent. You know, like I said on another interview, man. To all the promoters and stuff listening right now, I'm open, man. I'm open. I can go with anybody.
Yeah, they're liking you already. The fans. David Evans, who's like a British Boxing Board of Control official, says he's very switched on. He answers before
Appreciate you.
you ask, says Bruce Guest. He says that's how tuned in you are. This kid is
Appreciate you.
awesome.
Appreciate you.
This kid is awesome. He lives, breathes, and sleeps boxing. Wish you the very best. So
Thank you.
it's
Thank you. Thank you.
but so who else? There's another question here, and it's about your kind of heroes. And Bruce Guest says, does Dominique have any fighters whose style he admires and he tries to follow?
Oh, I have a lot. I have a lot of fighters when young I looked up to. You know, first Roy Jones Jr., Sugar Ray Leonard. I used to love my Muhammad Ali. Well, still do. You know, you
Yeah.
have the Floyd Mayweather. Then when it come down to the slick crafty stuff, Corey Spinks. You know, Chris Algieri, Andre Ward. I just watched that boxing. I just filled my brain up with that boxing. You know, Tevin Farm. I love him for his craftiness. But I don't underestimate nobody, man. I don't underestimate nobody. I had all that stuff into my repertoire, you know.
You just reminded me of the other fighter that Anthony Hem was associated with. It was Corey Spinks.
Corey Spence,
You
yeah,
know, because it's funny, Dominic, when people say, because I don't know if you follow the British scene and the fights every weekend, but we had a show, Regis Prograis versus Jack Catterall in Manchester last
yeah,
night over here.
yeah. I
But
see.
on the undercard, Ricky Hatton's son lost for the second time in a row to the same guy,
Second time
Jimmy
in a row,
Joe
yeah,
Flint, right?
yeah. Second
Now,
time in a row.
the thing that I was thinking of with respect to Corey Spinks, everybody says, well, has a world champion's son or a boxing legend's son, has he ever been better than the dad or even anywhere near equal the dad? And people can't really come up with an example. But the one example I think possibly springs to mind is I think Corey Spinks might have been better than Leon Spinks, his dad,
Yeah,
even
man.
though he doesn't have the win the size of that win over Muhammad Ali in the historic
Yeah,
upset in 1978. But you look at Corey at his best, and he probably was better than Leon. But he's the
yeah,
only son of a boxing legend, world champ I can think of who was better than his dad. I mean, Floyd Mayweather, sure, but his dad was not a world champion,
yeah.
So
His father wasn't a world champion, but when it come down to the world champions, Corey Spinks definitely. You know, he took that generation, that name to the next level. Cultivated that name. He took it to the next level. You know,
and when
so
and when you look at
good.
Michael, who's what could have been the greatest light heavyweight of all time, he's certainly up there. He's like a top three, top five at the worst ways, guy. They might have been the most successful boxing family in history. When you got Leon was briefly
One
heavyweight
hundred
champion of the
percent. Oh, for
world,
sure. Without a
do you
doubt.
know?
Without a doubt. Yeah, without a
Yeah,
doubt.
that's
Without a
one hell of
doubt.
a family legacy right there.
It's like
But
Corey Spinks, you know.
what's Coach Smitty saying? He says, "Hello, everyone. This kid is special. Hard work and dedication. He will leave it all in the ring." That's Coach Smitty. I get the feeling he knows you already.
And I appreciate you, Coach Smitty. Yeah.
Yeah. But so you made the impressive debut. Literally, you fought 2 weeks ago. It was October 12th, the same night as Dimitri Bivol and Artur Beterbiev
Exactly. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
in Stockton, California. You took
Yeah,
care of business and stopped the guy in the fourth round.
yeah.
What's next? Can you say at this stage?
We stand in the gym. We stand ready. Whatever comes to us, come to us, man. We just stand ready, stand vigilant. Right after these fights, it's not like you have them fighters that go on long vacation. They out the gym for 3-4 months and stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
never me. That's never me. We get back to recovery. We get back to recovery first, and then we get back to the business. So whatever comes our way, man, and we handle it accordingly.
You know what? Sometimes I would see prelim kids fighting 4 rounders in the UK, and they go on holiday for a few weeks after they fought. They won a 4 rounder against a journeyman who wasn't coming to beat them in a million years anyway, and
Yeah,
they would
that's it.
celebrate like they won 3 world titles, and then they'd be
Nah,
off on
yeah.
a break, which I thought
Nah,
was kind
man.
of.
Nah, man. You gotta take, if you take this serious, or if you take yourself serious, you will act accordingly. Like they say, your actions determine your beliefs. So you win a four
Yeah,
rounder, you ain't even cracked the egg yet. You ain't even cracked
yeah,
the egg yet. And I want my friend. I'm back in the gym. God forbid, no injuries. No, yeah, we back in the gym. On Monday. We're back
yeah.
in the gym on Monday. Yeah.
So this coming Saturday, November 2nd, you've got the rematch between Oshaki Foster and Robson Conceição.
Hmm.
I believe that fight is in the Top Rank show, and I think it's at the
Hmm.
Turning Stone Casino in Verona, in upstate
Hmm.
New York. I imagine you'll be watching that with particular interest, being 130 pounder now, and I know it was highly controversial, the decision last time, but it's something. I mean, how far away do you see yourself from being on the verge of a challenge for either that title or one of the other versions, where you've got Kakache, you've got Navarrete, and you have Lamont Roach, right?
Yeah, Lamar Rose. Yeah, Lamar Rose.
Who's supposed to fight Javante Davis.
Yep,
But
exactly.
looking ahead to next weekend's fight, I mean, how soon do you see yourself on the verge of one of those opportunities?
Like I said, man, only time will tell. Only time will tell. We just gonna keep putting in our work, and like I said before, whatever comes, comes. You know what I mean? Because I know my talent. I believe in my talent, and when everybody see this talent, they'll understand as well. So like I said, only time will tell. Ain't putting no pressure on myself, but it's going to happen. I've been putting in this work forever, so it's going to happen. That's just one thing that I know. It's going to happen. I don't know when. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or the next day, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you're only 23, so you
Yeah.
have plenty of time.
Hmm.
I mean, is it fair to say you look probably even younger than 23? I mean, the picture
Yeah.
that you've got on Boxrec, you look about 13 still. I don't know where they got that from.
Yeah. I was 18 with that picture too. I was 18.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah, I was 18 with that picture. Yup. Yup.
I mean, you probably don't drink anyhow, but I bet you get ID'd if
Nah.
you try to have like a
Yeah,
occasional.
I gotta get ID for anything, because this baby face, man. You gotta take care of that temple. You gotta take care of your body.
Yeah. So you're a free agent right now, promotionally,
Hmm.
and you say co-trained by Derek Santos and your dad, and you just waiting to get out again. Whatever's next.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it, man. We just rolling the boat, man. We just rolling the boat like we have always been. With that last fight and starting California with uh I can't remember the opponent name, but you said the opponent name. With that last fight, a lot of people been opening their eyes because he was 18-0, 14 knockouts. It's a strong guy, a strong
That's what
opponent.
Carrera Lugo.
Yeah, there you go, Carrero
Well, you
Lugo.
see, so you forgot his name already. Literally, he was an obstacle in front of you, and now you ain't even paying him no mind.
Yeah, yeah, fair.
He
It's
doesn't
time.
remember
Yeah,
his name
yeah.
anymore.
Nah, yeah, yeah. We don't look back. We keep on going. But he was a tough guy, durable opponent. Won't take nothing away from because he stepped inside the ring. Anybody who step inside the ring, man, I give him a pat on their back, pat on their shoulders, man. But ever since that fight, people have been who hasn't been tuned in. They're recognizing now. That's what we want, stuff like that. But this is everything that we always believed in. This is everything that I always believed in. First of all, I always believed in myself. I never doubted myself. So everything is falling into fruition. That's it.
Is it fair to say? Well, I know it's fair to say that it's harder to become a superstar when you're 130 pounds and below. Well, once you get past lightweight, or 135 seems to be a bit of a cutoff point for superstardom and crossover stardom. Do you smaller guys have to work harder for big paydays and big attention and big platform?
When you're below 130,
Or even when you're at
130.
130, how many
Uh,
superstars in boxing history can we think of who were below 135 pounds, for instance, off the top of your
it's
head?
that's like if I think right now, we could talk about Lomachenko. We could talk about what's that guy name who over there in the
Inoue.
we could talk about
Yeah,
the monster.
true,
We could talk
true,
Yeah, we could talk about monster. We could talk about no Nito Donaire. We could talk about Manny Pacquiao when he
true.
was coming up.
Filipino
We
Flash.
could talk
Yeah,
when Sugar Shane Mosley was a 135 pounder, he was at his best. Nobody was messing him. Mosley at 135, he was at his best. The list could go on. So I don't really believe in it's hard to make money or recognition and stuff like that. It all depends on that person. It all depends on that person. When you're that star, when you have that star power and you have that draw, people gonna gravitate to you. You understand? See, when people gravitate to it, there's nothing they could do about it. You could be at flyweight. You could be at flyweight. What about Bam Bam Rodriguez? Bam Bam Rodriguez,
true.
he's
Yeah,
at
I mean he's getting attention, and I know
yeah,
Sonny Edwards pretty well, and
Sonny
after
Edwards, yeah,
Sonny Edwards fought Bam, he said
yeah,
he was on the table getting seen to, and Bam came to say hi to him in the dressing room and well done. And
yeah.
Sonny Edwards said, "Flyweights don't get this. What we had, the attention we got, the billing we got,
Yeah, the
and the
game
purses we
changing.
got." He says, "Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly." So I think, like you say, if
yeah.
you're excited and you're a commercial product and the fans like you, then it doesn't matter, perhaps so much,
Oh yeah,
about the poundage.
oh
A
yeah.
fella called Kung Cat would like to know if you've ever sparred with Oscar Valdez.
Oscar Valdez. No, I never sparred with Oscar Valdez. Never sparred
Okay.
with Oscar Valdez.
That was a simple thing. He also said a bit earlier, he was asking me, could I talk about coaching at Repton and training Darrell Hamilton? I will at some point, but I'm not gonna cut into an interview with Dominique Trap Francis talking about my own stuff. We're talking about him right now. But I
Oh,
will
for sure. Yeah, I appreciate that. We talking about the biggest trapper right now, man. Let's do it. Let's do
yeah,
it. Let's do it.
yeah.
Let's do it.
It's
From South Florida, man. Let's do it.
well, and you're born and bred South Florida, right?
Born and
That's
bred
where
in
you hail
South
from.
Florida, man. Yep. Born and
Yeah.
bred in South Florida, man.
How is the how is the
We put it on a map. Like you don't really got to. I'm not gonna say you don't have boxing in South Florida, but you don't have no stars coming from South Florida. You know what I'm saying? You
no?
don't have stars and big people coming from South Florida, especially South Florida, because Florida you have Pensacola, Roy Jones Jr. You
Yeah,
have Winter Haven, I
Miami,
believe,
which has
Andre
got a
Berto.
heritage.
Exactly. We had Antonio Tarver. We had all, but Miami, like where I'm from, only one person I can think about is Randall Bailey. But I'm talking about star like me. You don't have it like that. So we putting it on
Yeah.
the map. Everybody will talk about, oh, it never breed boxers, but Florida never breed boxers. But look at all the people I named. They don't know their history. So I'm pushing it right back up.
Well, you
That's
had the
it.
glory days of the Miami Fifth Street Gym, of course, in the
Yeah. You see?
1950s and
Exactly.
60s and 70s. Obviously, Angelo
Exactly.
Dundee was famously based there, and you had
There
the
we go.
Muhammad Ali,
There we go.
who used the gym. So that's a big Florida boxing legacy. But I believe you live in a place right now called Opa Locker.
Yeah, Opalaka is where we were at. Opalaka is where we were based out of. We everywhere though, man. We all over from Opalaka, Miami-Dade County, Broward County. We represent for it all, the whole Tri-County. You know what I mean? We represent for the whole Tri-County, man.
That's a term I didn't even know until today when I was doing some homework on you. And so it was a guy called Brendan Taylor, who does a bit of YouTube
Oh yeah.
punditry. And he was
Uh-huh.
saying, I'm a South
Brandon
Florida
Taylor.
guy. I back my South Florida guys. He
Yep,
said the whole Tri-County area.
yep.
I heard I heard of the
Excuse me.
Tri-State area because that was when I lived in New York. It was New York,
Yep,
Connecticut, and New Jersey. But I
yep,
didn't know
yep.
about the Tri-County thing. So, yeah, explain that.
You got the biggest county, Miami-Dade County. Then you got Broward County. Then you got West Palm. You got Palm Beach County. The huge counties of Florida. So like I said, you got 305, 561. You got 954. So this is what it's all about, man. You got the Tri-County. Then you got all parts of Florida, man. Florida is just big. Man. But like I said, I feel like we should stick together more. I don't feel like we really stick together as much. So I just want to be that person. If it got to be me or start with me to unite
Yeah.
everything, let's do it, man. Because I feel like it's a lot of talent in South Florida. It's a lot of talent in Florida, period. You know, if we all back each other and stuff like that, man, we'll be all right. We'll be just like the West Coast and stuff like that, Cali and all type of stuff like that, man. That's what we need to do. We need to bring it together when it come down to sports, when it come down to entertainment, music, all this stuff, man. We need to do this.
Yeah, because and you get one guy that breaks through who kind of flies the flag for
There
that
you go.
particular area. You know, like Detroit with the Kronk in that classic era
Yeah, there you go.
when
Yeah.
Manny Stewart was producing all those great fighters from out of the same gym. That becomes like a thing, and it's a scene, and it creates a healthy culture for boxing around that area. You know, that city or
Yeah,
that state. You know, so.
for sure.
But how is Florida? Is it sunny all the time?
Yeah, Florida. You know this a real tropical state, so you know you'll have sunny probably the next few hours. It'll be storming, and they get right back sunny. So you just got to be ready for the sun. You got to be ready for it all. You got to be ready for it all. You know, and that's like what I bring inside that ring, man. Just like that, man. You
Yeah.
don't know what each round is gonna switch. Each round is a different hour. You know what I'm saying? Each round is a different hour. You know what I mean? That's exactly how it is. I'm a Florida boy.
When was the first time you went 10 rounds?
Probably maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
2 years ago, I believe so. Yeah.
How'd you find it?
How did I find it?
Yeah,
The
conditioning
10
wise. I
round.
mean,
Oh, when you in shape, you in shape. You know, when I get inside the ring, I don't think about just I don't think about just getting by. You know, I don't think about getting by. I always want to dominate. You know, I'm always want to dominate. Win. That's how it is. So me, when you in shape, man, you in shape. You gotta prepare for that. You gotta
yeah.
prepare for that.
Well, would you ever be curious about a return to the 15 round championship fights? Is that something that you would ideally like to test yourself into? Because my co-host Michael the Sokolajide did do 15 rounds one time against Frank Tate when he fought for the IBF
Yeah,
middleweight
not at
title.
all. Nah, not at all. I feel like the game has elevated for a reason. You know, I feel
So
like,
you're in favour of that change, which occurred by degrees in the 1980s.
oh, of course. You know, like
Yeah.
like we were talking about before, like we were talking about previously, you know, listen to a lot of their speech. Just look at a lot of them. You know what I mean? A lot of them it can't articulate. You know, it has a lot to do. That's a lot of fighting. You know, that's a
Yeah.
lot of fighting, you know. So even you take it down to 12 rounds, that kind of still force them boys more to go at it more in combat because you don't have those 3 extra rounds. You know what I mean? But like I say, I'm in favor for the 12 rounds, man. Either way it go, you still fighting, man.
Sure, and it's still no cakewalk to do 12 rounds. I mean,
Oh no.
fighters back in the day they fought more often, typically as well. They would have more fights in a single
Yeah.
year, even at the top
Oh
level.
yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
but the flip side is you get the superstars now like Canelo who only fight twice a year. What's your take on that?
I mean, Canelo already has almost what he almost have maybe 80 fights or something like that. He have a lot of
Canelo's
fights.
pushing. Canelo has 60. He is 62 with 3 losses. So it's two. He's 62 2-2, I believe. I think
Oh
he's
what? Yeah,
or thereabouts. He's like 62-2-2, that Canelo.
yeah,
Because I looked at it the other day. He has kind of the identical record to Marvin Hagler had when he was going into his final fight with Sugar Ray Leonard. Hagler was 62 2-2. I believe that's where Canelo is at right now.
yeah, man. See, that's a lot of fights. He had a lot of fights. He put his work in. He already put his work in at a young age and
So
stuff
he's
like
earned
that.
the
So
right to have those blockbusters a couple of times a year and pace himself.
he's on the right, man. You know, he's in the right for that. Like I said, at the end of the day, these athletes, man, put in a lot of work. They put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I mean? They put in a lot of work in the gym. What people don't look at, what people don't know about. The only thing they ever pay attention to is when you want to mainstream and stuff like that. And you're sacrificing your life. You putting on entertainment for in front of the fans. You know what I mean? But they gotta understand there's a lot more to that. It is a lot more to that. You know what I mean? That comes with the game that us fighters still put up with, you know. So I'm all right with it, man. I don't complain and I don't talk about nobody else's process.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, people have been suggesting that Canelo is ducking, David Benavidez. But I think ultimately we live in an era today where if Canelo doesn't want to fight a certain guy, he doesn't have to. It
He
doesn't
don't
necessarily
gotta
mean
fight
that.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he don't have to fight him because he is the guy. That's like, you know, everybody spoke about Floyd Mayweather bashment and stuff like that, but you understand. After Floyd Mayweather fought Austin De La Hoya and beat Austin De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather became the guy. I am the guy to beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I am
because
the
he
guy.
wasn't the A side against Oscar.
No,
I don't believe he was a. You know what? He wasn't a betting favorite either. He was a
no,
slight
no.
underdog going into the
Yeah,
fight.
yeah. That fight wasn't for Floyd. You know, that fight wasn't for Floyd. Floyd went in and did what he did. That's when Floyd became a household name after that fight.
Yeah, and you know it's interesting. Mayweather laid down this blueprint for fighters, I suppose, about fighter autonomy and independence. If you had the skills to carry that off, because he was with Bob Arum and Top Rank when he started, and then when he started to run his own show and to call his own shots, his growth was so exponential from that point forward,
Oh
and he
yeah.
was able to lay down his own blueprint. Some people say that the Floyd Mayweather effect has harmed boxing, and it made fighters more inclined to avoid each other or to pick and choose. Whereas obviously some people say no, he laid down a wonderful blueprint for fighters to take control of their own careers and to come out the game with plenty of money and minimal damage. You know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. I agree with that, man. If you got the opportunity to do it like he did, what would you say? Nah, I'm not gonna do it like that. Nah, man. If you got the opportunity to do it like that, go ahead and do your thing. I seen that comment ERTV media say Trap Nation. Why Trap
Yeah, yeah,
Nation or
yeah.
nothing, man.
That,
Nah, 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 nah. Yep.
yeah,
Yes,
that's
sir,
ERTV
man.
media. Yeah,
ERTV, man. I appreciate y'all.
you've brought your own fan base to this show, which is kind of cool. I see that
Yeah,
that's
brought our own
you know
fan base.
there's like a trade off here. But what are you going to say?
That's
Is
love.
Floyd Mayweather your favorite fighter or someone else?
Nah, I don't have a favorite fighter. Yeah,
Really,
I
you
don't
don't have
have
a
a
hero, a boxing
no.
hero?
Oh, not at all. Like I said, it's just fighters that I look into and put into myself. But boxing is so much talent in boxing, man. It's so much talent in boxing. Even like I say with the South Florida scene, it's a lot of fighters who I look up to that had an impact on my style growing up that nobody know about. So I don't have a hero or nothing like that. I watch everybody, man. I put into my style. I add it to my repertoire.
If I were to ask you about the fighter who's currently active that you most admire today, of guys who are currently active, who would you tell me?
I tell you, Devin Haney.
Yes, Devin
Yeah,
Haney.
I
Seriously,
I tell
yeah,
you, Devin Haney. Yeah,
yeah,
Devin Haney. I really admire Devin Haney first of all because people don't give him enough credit for the road he took and the route he took and the way he built up his career and the way that he made himself relevant, the way he stuck true to his game, the way he believed in himself, no matter how much of these people criticize him, doubt him, and make a mockery of him. At the end of the day, Devin Haney doing what he's supposed to do, even with all that old Sue and
that's it.
situation. All I know is, man, the man is taking boxing as it should be taken as a business. Because let's say if Devin Haney would have took that beating, and after that beating, he would have went to the hospital and wouldn't have recovered. You know what I mean? Then everybody would have got on Ryan's case. You know what I mean? But why not? If I never seen me personally, I never seen a cheater get protected like that. I never seen that. You know what I mean? I never seen that. So man, I really respect Devin Haney, man. That man was a champion and he was active. Look what he did with Cambosis. He fought
Yeah,
Cambosis in Cambosis' backyard for the
twice.
title, beat him for the title, went back to fight him
Yeah,
again in his backyard 2 times. Even though his father wasn't going to be able to go, he still was
yeah.
going to go over. So you got to give that man his credit. He worked hard. He worked hard, man. He's a human. This is boxing. Will he take a L? Well, he's not a champion. He's not good at his craft anymore. No, see, that's what's messed up about boxing, man. They got the game messed up like that. They got the game messed up
Well,
like that.
when you say that the cheat in Ryan Garcia was protected, how do you mean? Because he did get a ban, right? He got like a
He
12
got
month
he got
ban.
he got a ban, but all the fans calling Devin Haney everything they calling him.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, if anything, it's almost like he's given up some sort of machismo by pursuing the legal case
So
against
what
Devin.
what, what about Floyd
Bec-
Mayweather when he sued Victor Ortiz for headbutting him? Nobody talk about that.
What? There was a legal action as a result of that fight, was there?
Yeah, he did that. Yeah, he did that.
Because
But nobody talk about that though. You know what I'm saying? So they pick boxing, they pick and choose. And then, a lot of the what I would say the pioneers of the game, they was bashing Devin Haney too, going real hard on him, man. And I was like, dang, man, that's tough, man. I don't agree with that, not at all. It's
Yeah,
business.
well,
Boxing is business first.
I mean, the way I see it, Garcia didn't even try to make the weight.
He didn't try to make the weight. One,
He failed the 2 drug tests, whatever his excuse is, whatever the mitigation
two.
is. If
There
you
you
look
go.
into Osterine, it definitely gives you strength gains and other kind of athletic
Yeah, you
benefits,
get it. Come
performance
on, man.
benefits. I mean, and Ryan said the other day, "Oh, how could Peds help me to hit him with a left hook that quickly? I caught him in the first 30 seconds and timed him." He says, "How is Peds going to do that for you?" But at the end of the day, Garcia, like I say, he didn't even try to make the weight.
He didn't try to make
So
it at all.
then he gets popped for Osterine. So I agree that the fight is null and void. It doesn't really, you can't really hold that in all good conscience as a loss against Devin Haney. What I wonder is how it affects Devin Haney's psyche, because he probably feels like he
Yeah,
lost,
yeah,
particularly the reaction of the fans. You still
yeah.
you still suffer all those knockdowns. To be honest with you, Dominique, I thought Haney was winning the fight except for when he was getting knocked down.
Knocked
I
down. That's
think I
it.
scored more rounds. I think I scored 7 rounds of that for Devin. He was just losing the rounds he lost big because he was on the canvas.
Exactly. The funny thing, I was scoring it the same way. I feel like he was controlling the fight. I feel like he was being more creative in the fight. I feel like he wasn't. I feel like he wasn't. He was letting the more. How can I say it? He was letting the more crispier shots opposed to the shots that he was getting knocked down with. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. And the thing is that Ryan just had a big bullying, bludgeoning
That's
left
it.
hook. And he's a great
That's
left
it.
hooker anyway. Credit where it's due.
He
He is a
is.
great
He
left
is.
hooker.
Credit. He is. He is.
But
He is.
but if you're not going to try and make weight and you're going to come in juiced, then
Come
that could
on,
be your
man.
plan.
Come on, man. That's like when Keyshawn Davis was calling Devin Haney. They all calling him. Excuse my lady. They all say, "Oh, you're a pussy. He's a pussy." But damn,
You can
man.
say
So
that on this show. We can curse on this
okay.
show. It's good because we're not big enough yet for anyone to care. You see?
Oh, but now you for to be real big now. Y'all say
Yeah.
for to be real big now.
Yeah.
Even that stuff
Well,
we
when we
talk
get a
about.
little bit more successful and a little bit more powerful, we'll probably have to rein in the language. But right now, you can call anyone a pussy on this show right now. You should see what it's
Yeah.
like when Gary stretches on here sometimes.
Oh, he
When
let it
he,
rip.
yeah, when he can be quite loose tongued sometimes. So we
Okay,
even
yeah,
had to
that's
lose
good.
a
They
few
wanna
episodes.
for real, cause they wanna mess up your channel. They be monetizing that stuff. They hear
Yeah.
anything, they take that right away.
Yeah, well, sometimes they do say unsuitable for. Sometimes they will say it's not suitable for advertisers or whatever if you
Okay,
go
okay,
too
okay.
hard. But we can get away with the pussy here and there, as it were. But
Okay, that's cool.
that reminds me, I mean, I haven't asked about the fight about this for a while because I get into trouble when I ask about this for some reason. But since going with the metaphor of pussy and leading from one thing to another, some fighters stay away from the ladies, where they're in training camp and they don't have any of that kind of activity, right? Because traditionally the belief amongst the old school was that it weakens you, women weaken legs, all the rest of it. Do you have a policy about that when you're in camp? Are you definitely sort of like, do you live like that Trappist monk, if you'll forgive the pun?
Yeah, and that's a funny one. I feel like that's a old school myth. Yeah, so I feel like that's an
Okay.
old school myth. You know what I mean? Obviously, like Mike Tyson say, my coach don't want you out there chasing a pussy. Because when you out there chasing a pussy, now you got no legs and you ain't focused no more.
Because
You know what
maybe
I'm
you're
saying?
staying out late, maybe you're even having a drink or whatever. But
Yeah, there you go. But all that, you holding yourself back for 8, 10 weeks, all that crazy stuff. I don't believe in that. Your body, if you got too much testosterone, you release naturally anyway. You wake up with a wet dream. So yeah,
yeah.
I ain't too big on that.
No, so there's no. You don't think there's any problem if you have a steady lady who understands your lifestyle as a fighter and you're in a stable relationship. There is no problem with that kind of activity. It's only when you're out in the nightlife, in the club life, when you might be seeking that kind of thing,
Yeah,
which
that
when
nightlife
it
stuff
represents a
crazy.
danger to you. Yeah,
Yeah, but if you got an old lady, she'll respect the time that you cut off, and that's it. You'll be good.
yeah. Like I say, I asked a female fighter about that once. There's a girl called Shannon Courtney. She was a WBA bantamweight champion, I believe. But I asked her before her professional debut, did she cut out sex in training camp? And I got so much grief for it. People were saying, what a question to ask a lady. And I never heard
Yeah,
the
they
end of
don't.
it on YouTube. It was big back.
Yeah,
Well, you
they
know what I
don't
mean? So,
understand. They don't understand. They don't
yeah, I
understand.
thought
She
it was an
probably she
interesting.
probably said no, huh?
She didn't want to answer the question. She wasn't comfortable with it and said, I'm not going
Oh,
to
she
talk about
one
my
of them
private
type.
life.
Oh yeah, for real
Yeah.
though, yeah.
But yeah, like I say, it's been a while since I ventured with that question. But since we were going from one kind of like a word association game, I was
Yeah, for
playing
sure. Now
there.
we cool. We good.
Yeah, but so there we have it with yourself, is that you're just waiting for the next day. You know, that was it. Ishan Pickering said to me, how is this man ready to challenge for world honours now? And it says, is this man ready now to step in for world honours, Ben? Now, I don't know if he's asking you or me or a consensus of the two of
Yeah,
us,
I
but
don't know what he
I think you're
answered,
the
but
best person to answer that.
yeah, but this man named Dominique, man. Dominique Trap Francis. Get it right, not this man. You hear me? Name, man. Dominique Trap Francis, right there on the screen. You understand? But you'll see me. Y'all just keep watching. You'll see me. You'll see me. This man will be ready for everything. First of all, I'm ready for myself. Let's get it.
Did you see the Anthony
Yeah.
Kakachi-Joe Cordina fight?
The who
When,
fight? The who fight?
well, Joe Cordina was the you know what? It's so hard to
Versus
keep track of the belt holders these days. At 130, Joe Cordina was I believe, the IBF champion, but don't quote me because it's so confusing nowadays. Even the most anorak aficionado has trouble
yeah.
keeping track of all the belts nowadays because it's crazy out there. But Anthony Kakachi recently stopped Joe Cordina. And so
Damn.
now you got 4 champions in your weight division. You've got Conceição, although that could change next weekend. You've got
Yep.
Emmanuel
Yep.
Navarrete.
I
You
believe
have
that's gonna
Lamont
change though.
Roach.
Yep.
You have
And then
Lamont
Navarrete.
Roach, and you have like I say, Navarrete. Yeah. So you got
Navarrete. Yep.
and you've got Anthony Kakachi, like I said.
Yeah.
So you didn't see the Cordina Kakachi fight, which was on a big
No, I didn't see that fight.
British show. No, okay. But you fancy a Sharky Foster to turn the tables and get the decision next week?
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like the first fight was a robbery. That was one of the biggest robbery in boxing. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was one of the biggest robbery in
I
boxing.
do remember there was a major, and it actually he was the defending champion as well, right? Foster as well.
Yep,
So
exactly.
I mean, people talk about champions privilege. I don't believe in that, but normally, if a fight, you don't expect it to go. If it's going to go one way, you might expect it to go to champion. I don't believe that's right. Incidentally, I think every fight should be scored the same, no matter who holds the belt or the belt's going in.
1000%. Everything
Yeah, that was
should be
weird.
scored right.
Yeah,
But you had one out
exactly.
real quick.
So yeah, I think, to me, I don't like that notion that you've got to take the title. I think you've just got to win by
You
whatever
just
margin
got
possible.
you just gotta win, man. That's what I say. Like even no matter how and like what fight was that? Was he a champion? Well, it was Teofimo Lopez versus damn that
Lomachenko?
guy. No, not Lomachenko. The one who boxed him the whole time and barely got hit.
Oh,
The
that was. I'm trying to think who that was.
not Robes. Damn, I can't remember his name, man. That was that guy. Like they say you have to you got to beat the champion to beat the champion. But I just beat the champion. I just beat the champion. I really got hit. I feel like he won that fight. But like as you said, the narrative is always that you gotta beat that guy to I guess get the
Yeah.
title. But
I
it
mean,
is what
really,
it
that
is.
narrative is unworkable in practice because the judges have to score every round and they have to hand in their card at the end of every round. So you literally can't be playing that game unless you're corrupt. If you're saying the champion starts with a 2-round advantage or something, then it's obviously corruption. But let me see if I can find out who you were talking about with Tio here.
Yeah, see if you could find. I know he's from New York. I can't remember his name, man.
Yeah, it's going to bug me if we don't get it. Let's have a look.
I forgot his name. Look. And everybody that's watching, tuning in, man, y'all follow me on my platforms on Instagram at the Real Trap, TheReal .TARPP. I'm spelled with 2 P's. I'm extra because I'm like that. You know what I mean? On Twitter, it's the Real _Trap, TRAPP. You know what I mean? Just follow me, tap in with me. Tap in, you'll see on my Instagram all my music. I get like that. I'm the sickest on this mic. You know what I mean? I'm the
See,
sickest on anything I do.
See, this kid's good. He fills in when I'm looking down, looking at the computer to check out Teofimo Lopez's record, because I couldn't even trust Silk or Gary to do this. So maybe I should probably sack one of them and get Trap in here instead, because that's a professional broadcaster right there. The
Most
host is
definitely.
just checking something out, and he
Yeah,
fills the gap for me and starts just doing a little self promotion and keeping you guys entertained. That
most
is what I'm.
definitely.
Silk, take notes if you're watching this, Michael Olajide. Watch
Yeah,
and
yeah.
learn.
Yeah, watch and learn, man. I love y'all though. I love y'all. I love all y'all. All my
Okay,
fans that
so
was on there,
so
man. I love y'all.
so there was
Yeah.
Sando Martin. Yeah, Sando Martin, right?
No, what's
No,
the other guy?
wasn't Jermaine Ortiz.
Jermaine Ortiz.
Yeah, yeah,
Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine
yeah.
Ortiz. That was oh man. That was just
Well,
crazy.
who did you think won? I know you were fighting that night, but I'm guessing you caught up with Better Biev versus Bivol later on. Did you see the fight?
Man, honestly, man, I didn't catch the actual fight, but I caught because I was fighting, but the highlights and stuff like that from all that stuff that I see, I still gotta watch it full. I feel like what's his name? Uh not Better Beef of Bivol won. But
Yeah,
when the rounds got to the later end, like the maybe 10th, 11th, 12th, when he started dying down a bit, he started catching the harder shot. Boo, 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 boo. But you know one thing that I be confused about with boxing? Somebody could hit you with 15 blows, right? This
yeah.
one guy hit me with 2 shots, but it's really hard. You gonna give him that exchange?
That's a great point. I remember a British referee being asked by.
Wow.
I remember a British referee getting asked a question once in an interview, and they said, "I want you to imagine a round. Okay, so one guy lands 5 left jabs,
Yeah,
nothing special, right? Just jabs.
yeah.
And the other guy lands 2 stiff right hands. He says, "Who are you going to give it to?" And he said, "I'd give it to the guy that landed the 2 rights." Some judges and scoring referees will take that approach. They'll go for the force of the blow over the volume of the blow. I understand that, and that's obviously the basis on which Beterbiev won the fight. The people,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly. But it's unfair because I'm gonna tell you why it's unfair. If you match a pugilist up with a pugilist pure guy science of his sport, pure boxer, jab up, get up out of there, with a power puncher, you might as well automatically get a fight to the power puncher. Why you even matching that fight up if you like when somebody land harder shots anyway? This guy
yeah.
naturally hit harder, but okay, I could box your shoes off. You gonna take away from my gift? You gonna take away from that fighter's gift and his talent? You can't do that to him, man. You
No, I
can't.
agree. For the most part, I agree with you. I mean, I do understand. I do understand the notion. If it really is 5 jabs versus 2 big right hands that rocks a guy, then I understand that argument. But that's an extreme example because the chances are that the boxer guy will probably land in more than just 5 jabs. But
Mhm.
will Dominique want to fight Luis Lopez or Kiko Martinez as Kung?
Yeah, everything right, everything gets situated, everything right. When that time comes, let's do it, baby. You know what I mean? That's how it is. We in the sport of boxing. Everything get right, let's do it.
Yeah. So clearly you're in no hurry. You're looking onwards and upwards to greater opportunities. We
You
we,
have
we want,
to.
yeah, and
You
we're,
have
we're
to.
we're looking for the some of these British promoters to take more notice. Eddie Hearn,
Yeah.
check that
Yeah.
inbox sometime.
Yeah. Eddie Hearn, man, check your inbox, man. I'm in your things. It's like your ex-girlfriend, man. I'm in your inbox, man. I've been in there for a long time. Probably since 2018. I'm finna go back tonight. That's I'm finna go back tonight. Be at your house with a boombox. Take me back. Just like that.
I mean, do you think some of the wrong fighters are getting the opportunities these days? I mean,
I feel like because I don't want to stun on nobody, but I feel like a lot of fighters that's getting an opportunity these days not really appreciative for the opportunity that they have. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? I feel like they not really appreciative for the opportunity that they have. You know what I mean? So a lot of people like we were talking about in the beginning, they haven't been tested. I mean, they
they've
haven't
not
been
been battle
tested.
hardened, no, and they get kind of walk through it. But at some point they get into a fight that they can't handle because you can't match somebody soft forever, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Exactly. That's why I say the route that I took, I'm I'm really appreciative for it, man. Like I don't got no complaints. I don't have no adjustments. If I had another way that I wouldn't do it, I'd do it the same way. I do it the same way. I'm not on nobody else's timing. I'm on my timing, so I'm on the right timing. I'm on perfect timing. You know what I mean? I'm on perfect timing. You know what I mean? I believe in my team. I trust in my team. My father. My coach, Derek Santos. I trust in everybody. I trust in the route that we going. So we all right, man. We all right.
well, I usually appreciate you taking the time to speak to us. It was Lee Bates who put us in touch. Who's like a does
Oh
whatever he
yeah,
does.
thank yeah. I appreciate Lee for this right here too. I appreciate everything that's been getting done, man. I appreciate that. Nothing, never go unnoticed, man. For real.
What I always appreciate is you were just a name to me a couple of days ago, and I
Yep,
checked it out. And that now you're a personality, you're a thing, you're a brand,
for sure,
you're
for sure.
somebody that I'm interested in going forward. We'll definitely have you back on the show, and
Most definitely.
you're alive now in my mind. You're on my
There we
radar,
go.
and I'm
There we
sure you're on
go.
the radar of a few other people who watch the show tonight.
There we
So
go. There we go.
I like what I see on YouTube. It's a tough kid, talented kid, and I wish you all the very best. We can say goodbye backstage after I finish the show, but I'll let you close it out because you're good at this. So you can close it out with a final message to the fans who've been watching tonight, and then I'll cut it and talk to you backstage. Go
Say it
ahead.
again.
I said I'll let you close this one since you're
All
pretty
right.
good at this kind of thing. I'll let you close this
Let's
one
do
out.
it. Let's do
Okay.
it, man. Hey, everybody who tuning in, I appreciate y'all. Y'all were just introduced to the biggest trapper, Dominique Trap Francis, Mr. Wine. Nah, 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 nah. I'm gonna be on y'all radar for a long time. Know what I'm saying? So don't get tired. If you got short attention span, I don't think I'm the one that you gotta fall in love with. But chill out, don't fall in love with me too hard. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause this stuff can be like a relationship. It got ups and downs. But like I appreciate everybody who been a part of my journey, man. Been a part of my career. Scott Hurd, Mr. Andrew. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, Ian Patrick Ford, my first coach, Anthony Ham, you know what I mean? Derek Santos still a part of that, ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? My father, mother, all my small circle like I got, man. Andre, I started this because you, boy. I love you, boy. I love you, boy. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, all y'all, stay tuned, man. This is Dominique Trap, France, and Mr. Wine. Nah, 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 nah. Yep.
Can't do no better than that. I said on Facebook before the show a couple of hours ago, I hope this kid can talk as well as he fights. I think he's
Sure.
passed that test. Don't forget to press the like button, press the subscribe button if you didn't already do that. But if you didn't
Do
do
it.
that, then why didn't you do that? Comment
And
because
do
it
it.
helps the algorithm. That's what they tell me. Peace. Be lucky. Keep punching.